You talk about violence and freedom, but say very little about law. Why is that? No civilized society can exist without laws. And laws sometimes have to be backed by force, which means violence. What do you do when terrorists hold hostages? Do you let them be killed or storm the building? Where does freedom come into all this? Shall I read it again? Is it necessary? What are laws? What is law? Law, doesn't it mean order, right? Basically. Either a society establishes certain laws which bring about order. Those very laws are broken by cunning people, right? By criminals who employ excellent lawyers. You know all this, don't you? Now, where does law, order begin? In the courts? In the police? With the police? With the superintendents? And the intelligence group? Where does order begin? Please ask me. Society is in disorder, right? It's a fact. Corrupt, immoral, and almost chaotic. And governments are trying to bring order in all that. We, you, and another, we live in disorder. Right? Confusion, uncertain, seeking our own security. Not only one's own security, but the security of one's own family, right? And so on. Each one is creating, through isolation, disorder. No? Oh, for God. And where is law? With the police officer? With the lawyers? I met several of them. They will protect the murderer. It's their job. A criminal, pay them enormous sums. You understand all this, don't you? Where is order, law in all this? So shouldn't we first face disorder? That's a fact, that we live in disorder and society is in disorder, governments are in disorder. No? If you have talked to some of the politicians, prime ministers, high up in the hierarchy of government, each one is after power, right, sir? Position. Hold on to certain concepts. Identified with those concepts, with those ideologies, with those, all the rest of it. that all of us are working separately for oneself. We may come together in great crises like war, but the moment the crisis is over, we are back to our old pattern. This is right. So wouldn't you, I'm just suggesting this, wouldn't you begin to find out if law, which means complete order, whether you can live in complete order without any confusion. So put this question to yourselves. So there is no contradiction. Say one thing, do another. Think one thing and act in another way. As long as we live in disorder, the society, the governments will be in disorder. Law implies justice, right? Is there justice in the world? You are rich and poor. You've got bright minds. You can travel, you can go abroad, you can do all kinds of things. And I can't. Right? You're born to the riches, to riches. You become the prince of a country. And for the rest of your life, you're safe. And the poor chap down in the East End or the West End is poor, you know. So where is justice? Is there justice in the world? How do we examine all this? Justice implies equality. We all say equality before law. But that equality is denied by employing a highest paid lawyer, right? And I can't afford a highest paid lawyer. So there is immediately inequality. Therefore, so where do you find justice, law, and order? There arises a very complex question, which is, admitting factually that there is no justice in the world, you are well placed, good reputation, cars, houses, mistresses, and all the rest of it, marvelous furniture, and I live in a small hut. There is no equality. So one asks, after facing the fact, one asks, where does it exist at all? You are asking this question. I'm not asking you to ask that question. You are asking that question. Where there is compassion, there is equality. There is justice. Compassion implies intelligence. When there is that marvelous flame, then there is no difference between the poor and the rich, between the well-placed and those people who have nothing on God's earth.
As I asked the question, may I ask another part of it? If one has this compassion, you say, then one also must accept the fact that for this compassion you'll be killed.
I'll be killed, all right.
Hard to accept for some people.
I'll be killed. What's wrong being killed?
But most people would say that when you're dead, you are not in the position to do it.
Are we in a position to do something now? What? To stop this threat of war? The neutron bombs and so on exploding in a part of the country, and you can never come near it for the next 25,000 years?
But the people who, the peace groups and people who have this compassion appear to be the first victims to be wiped out.
I'm not sure. The speaker has been threatened many times.
But you're not in Central America then.
Huh?
But you're not living in Central America.
I'm not. I've been there many years ago. But I'm not there, neither in Honduras, Nicaragua, or San Salvador. I can't do anything there. But I can do something here. That's how you're going. I said compassion implies great intelligence. Compassion cannot possibly exist if you are identified with a group, with a particular form of worship or religious organization. If you go out into India and do some kind of social work, being attached to some church, that's not compassion, that is pity, sympathy. This is happening, sirs. So first let's find out if we can be compassionate. To come to that point, one must be extraordinarily alert to all the human frailties, to all the human limitations, which is one's own limitation, because you are not separate from the rest of mankind. If once you see the truth of that, then your whole attitude towards life and action and employment changes completely.